Where do I find my way? What can I take? What's in it for me? Stop the madness. If you're trying to find a new job, a new internship, grow your business, network to in any way benefit your professional development, then this video is for you. My name is Pamela Metani. I'm a business lawyer and owner of my own business law firm, Graphene Business Law. I work exclusively through my law firm with business owners and entrepreneurs throughout the province of Ontario, Canada. So I've seen a lot of good networking examples. I've seen a lot of bad networking examples. Okay, let's talk in this video about the worst way to network. And in the end, I'll give a little bit of a bonus tip as well in terms of what not to do, because that is really important when you're entering a concept that you're not familiar with, which, if you are that familiar with, you probably wouldn't be on this video. But if you are, just to reinforce what you already know, I thank you for visiting. So let's talk about it. Okay, I, through my life, have attended some of the world's best schools, gone there entirely on merit, funded them entirely through merit-based scholarships, grants, whatever the term is where you're watching this video from, and all that stuff. And you can imagine them being in those settings, that some of them being quite different than what I was coming from. I have seen and heard and experienced a lot, okay? And when I talk about my background, I'm talking about going to Wellesley College for undergrad, the #1 women's school in the world in Boston. Some famous Wellesley alum would include Hillary Clinton and Madeleine Albright. People, the most successful women that basically. Obviously, a lot of the students going into that school are not coming from the same strappy situation I was coming from. They're going to their school because their mama and grandmama went there, okay? So there's a pedigree, there's a lineage, there's a different path to life than these individuals are experiencing that I observed. And for what it's worth, I'm thankful for those observations. When I came back to Canada, I attended 2 law schools, one of them being always ranked either the best or second best law school in the country, Osgoode Hall. So, and that is some of the education, under my belt. And of course, at these schools, I didn't just attend, I was always top of class. And of course, since going into practice as well, I've always been, through my hard work, top of the food chain. So just so you know that I'm not sitting in my basement, Googling how not to network to put this video together. This is lived experience, having gone through a lot of stuff myself. Okay, so let's talk about it. The #1 mistake that I see when it comes to networking is a mentality that leads by taking. Okay, I don't want to get into the frou-frou stuff of energy and all that, and you're allowed to believe in that stuff. I do to some extent, but you could sort of, if you believe in that stuff, tie it to a scarcity mentality versus an abundance mentality. Back to the math, the taking, okay? So if you come from nothing, which I did, not just hella nothing in Canada, but I came from nothing in the world as well. Prior to coming in Canada as an immigrant, I'm from a third world country. So if you come from nothing, it is very tempting to just always be on the hunt, but not in the sexy abundance energy mindset. On the hunt in terms of oh my God, I have nothing, I need something, what do I get, what do I take? Bring that to the table, okay? You bring that to the table, you are going to blow the cover so freaking fast on yourself. It's done. It's game over before you even thought it started, before you enter the room. What do I mean? When it comes to networking, and in this video, we're going to cut off, the portion of the population that is socially fun-based networking. They know they're going to get the law school degree because their dad made a donation. They know they're going to be a lawyer at a top law firm because the partner hiring at that firm is golf buddies with their dad or mother or whatever gender, right? I don't mean to focus on, I don't mean to promote sexism and say that only men are, lawyers. Clearly not. But I'm not talking to that portion of the population in this video. You're good. I'm talking to the other portion of the population that is scrapping it, that is roughing it, okay? How do you stick out from that portion? So you can imagine though, but I do want to connect it in a little bit. I do want to connect it a little bit to the other population that I'm not speaking to in this video, but we can refer to. So Jeff, the partner at the law firm, who is golf buddies with Bob, has to hire Bob's son because Bob hired Jeff's son at his institution. Okay. However, the one thing that's going to matter more to Jeff than honoring his word to Bob is going to be actual quality. It's going to be him actually hitting his targets, him actually bringing money home, his reputation. All of these things, there's a small chance for you to crack that alliance between Bob and Jeff by offering value yourself, which is the contra to taking. Offering value and a very high level of value. It has to be so, wizard. It's clean, it's clear. And yes, that speaks to systemic discrimination and some of the hardships that some of us have to go through to make it to the level that others are granted a pass to. That's okay. That's a topic for another video. But, the offering value. I highlighted at the very highest example of even cracking an alliance between Jeff and Bob, because even at that level, offering value can give you a chance. But if we trickle down a little bit to just offering value to the average lawyer, to the average law school professor, to the average, law clerk, things like that, then you can really give yourself a fighting chance. If you are truly passionate about working somewhere, and maybe I should also step back to not just make this like law firm setting related, but any job, right? Or even growing your business in any industry. If you are passionate about growing in that area, you should try to find mentors in that area. And you should learn enough about those mentors that you are able to offer them value. Even a broke person can offer a wealthy person value. The wealthy person doesn't have that much time. If the wealthy person is a foodie, you can send them a link to the latest restaurant, posh restaurant opening up in their town. If the wealthy person loves travel, if the wealthy person loves technology, you can send them, knowledge. You can offer something. There is always a way to offer something that has nothing to do with what's in your pockets. But if you're watching this video, you cared enough to look into the topic, I'm going to, disclaimer, make the disclaimer that there is something up here. You're clearly intelligent enough to want to advance yourself. So again, we covered the number one way not to do it, and that's the taking mentality. What do I mean? What's a taking, what's an obvious, because you're thinking, are some people really that obvious? Yeah, they are. I have emails sent to me from students all the time, for example, to work in my shop that are just take, and some of them are so atrocious, like literally, I don't want to say laughable in case that comes across as insensitive. Some of them are so atrocious in the way they're written. They're not personalized to me. They're not personalized to my firm. And I'm like, and they're ask my time to meet up and mentor and this and that. Like, you didn't take the time of your essentially $0 value student time to draft a proper freaking email, and you expect me to take the time out of my lawyer time to meet you and give you tips and things like that. So there are, clear ways to take, like somebody will go to a networking event and they'll only ask, are you hiring? Do you, how much do you pay? This and that. And they won't have the conversation, the relationship building conversation on, learning more about the party they're talking to so that you can then figure out the value that they need. And that, I would say, is the number one. Do not go into networking with a taking mindset. Nobody, who's going to let you take from them that easily? What successful person that you know that is authentically successful, not because of daddy, that is self-made successful, became self-made successful because they were the stupidest person in the room? It's going to be very hard to open up those natural relationships with you going in there just with a taking mentality. And don't get me wrong, taking is all we have in the back of all of our minds anyways. But there's a way to butter that toast, right? And one of those ways, I mentioned it multiple times in this video, is through creating value. And you can create value with $0 in your pocket. You can create value out of your time, out of your humor, out of your talents, out of anything. You can create value, That guy, the person you're trying to connect with might have a child that's struggling in an elementary school subject. You can tutor them for free. You can always create value. Don't tell me you have nothing to offer. The bonus tip, and I mentioned I would throw in a bonus tip at the end, so here it is. The bonus tip I'm going to throw in is that when you do converse with individuals that you're genuinely trying to know better, and if you're not trying to know them better, don't talk to them. Don't waste your time. Even though as a student, your time has very little value to it. It's true. Don't waste that little value of time you have. Go after somebody you really, really want to talk to. Go after somebody you really want to get to know. And when you get in the room with them, or when you get in the room with somebody like them, be careful to come across as a normal human being, okay? So law is like one thing I do a lot of things in my life. I have a lot of entrepreneurial endeavors. And some of those endeavors have me often coming across like sales staff, for example. Oh my God, when I see the staff that are trying to network, but it's like, you swear they just Googled an article with like best statements to make while networking, you know, and they'll say these like catchphrases, just the ones that like the ones that mean nothing, but it's like the business buzz talk, you know, words like that. Don't go that route because, oh God, is it tiring? Oh God, is it boring? And it gets freaking annoying. If you were a master of those catchphrases, you wouldn't be trying to network and go up the ladder, okay? So be authentically you. It will at the very least be refreshing against all the other, you know, sketchbook talkers we're coming against. And once you get your in for being authentic, then you get your other in for offering value as an authentic individual. Thank you for watching this video. You know, given that primarily we work with business owners and entrepreneurs, I mean, I do have videos on this channel from when we first started geared towards law school students as well. But given the fact that we're working with business owners and entrepreneurs, that crowd is networking 24/7 if they're on the successful side. So even our clients can stand to benefit from watching this video. And of course, anybody on the internet can stand to benefit from watching this video. And for you that watched this video, thank you so much for doing so. Give this video a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and leave us a comment. What do you think? Is this something you're going to remember at the next time you're out there networking, trying to advance yourself professionally? I hope so. Take care.